The War of the Roses by Owen Burke. The War of the Roses was fought between the houses of Lancaster and York. The battle was for the English throne. The war got its name from the White Rose of York and the Red Rose of Lancaster. Both houses ended up claiming the throne through descent from the sons of Edward III. The Lancastrians occupied the throne from 1399. After the death of Henry V in 1422, the country was subject to the long infectious minority of Henry IV. House of York. Richard III's family ruled England from 1461 to 1485. The first Duke of York was Edmund of Langley, fourth son of Edward III. All three of Edmund of Langley's children became embroiled in plots against the Lancastrian kings between 1399 and 1415. Richard, Earl of Cambridge's son, was Duke of York. House of Lancaster. The royal house of Lancaster were descendants of John of Gaunt, third son of Edward III, and they ruled England from 1399 to 1461. In 1399, Gaunt's son, Henry of Bolingbroke, seized the throne from his cousin, Richard II, and became Henry IV. Henry IV's son, Henry V, regenerated the 100-Year War and was so successful that he declared heir to the throne of France. However, he died when his son was still a baby. This baby was Henry VI, whose reign was dominated by conflict between his closest relatives. This conflict and the loss of Henry's French kingdom eventually led to the War of the Roses. Leading up to the war, many soldiers had just returned from the 100-Year War in France, so recruiting trained men to fight was easy. Each side chose a badge, the red rose for Lancaster and the white rose for York. Start of the war. In 1455, just 2 years after the end of the 100-Year Wars, this dynastic civil war broke out. On May 22, 1455, the First Battle of St. Albans broke out. The Yorkists were victorious, during which the Duke of Somerset, one of the Lancastrian leaders, was killed. The Duke of York was reappointed protector, then dismissed again in 1456. On September 23, 1459, the Battle of Blore Heath broke out. The Yorkists came out victorious. Shortly after, on October 12, 1459, the Battle of Ludford Bridge was underway. The Lancastrians came out victorious on this one. The Queen declared Yorkist property and lives forfeit. Richard of York fled to Ireland. On July 10, 1460, the Battle of Northampton broke out. The Yorkists were victorious. King Henry VI was captured. The Queen fled to Wales. On October 10, 1460, Richard of York was declared heir to the throne. In response, the Queen raised a new army. On December 30, 1460, the Battle of Wakefield broke out. The Yorkists were defeated, and Richard, Duke of York, was killed. He was succeeded by his son Edward. On February 2, 1461, the Battle of Mortimer Cross was underway. Richard of York's son Edward, Earl of March, was victorious. On February 17, 1461, the Second Battle of St. Albans took place, a victory for the House of Lancaster. Henry VI was rescued. On March 4, 1461, Edward IV was proclaimed king in London. On March 9, 1461, the Battle of Towton broke out, another Yorkist victory for the Earl of Warwick. On June 24, 1465, Henry VI was captured and imprisoned in the Tower of London. On March 14, 1471, the Yorkist king Edward fled to France, returning with a small army. On April 14, 1471, the Battle of Barnet broke out, a victory for Edward's Yorkist army. Warwick the Kingmaker was killed. On May 4th, 1471, the Battle of Tewkesbury broke out, a defeat for the Lancastrian army led by Queen Margaret and the Prince of Wales. The Prince of Wales was killed and the Queen was captured. Closing of the battles. On May 22nd, 1471, Henry VI was killed in the Tower of London. Henry Tudor, the Earl of Richmond and Lancastrian claimant to the throne, fled to France. On April 9, 1483, Edward IV died and was succeeded by his young son, Edward V. On August 22, 1485, the Battle of Bosworth took place. King Richard III was killed, and the Lancastrian Henry Tudor became king. End of the war. After several years of hard-fought warfare, the war comes to an end. Lord Thomas Stanley and his brother Sir William switched sides and fight for Henry and the Lancastrians. Henry defeats the Yorkist forces, Richard is killed in battle, and Henry ushers into the rule of the House of Tudor, effectively ending the War of the Roses. Thanks for watching.